How to play rock guitar in drop D tuning. First, a demonstration. Okay, a close look at the fretboard, getting started with section 1 of this lesson. What is drop D tuning and how do you achieve it? Well, drop D tuning is when you take the lowest string on the guitar, that low E, and tune it down one full step so that it produces the note D. To do this, I usually strike the D string open, then the low E string, let them ring together, and then I'll just turn the tuning key for the low E string until it reaches the note D. I'll kind of match those notes together. So let's give that a shot. It's a real fast, easy way to get into drop D tuning. Okay, you can hear those notes starting to ring together and vibrate at the same speed. That means you're in drop D tuning. You're gonna get that real thick, heavy rock guitar sound. Now that you know how to get into drop D tuning, let's learn some scales so that way you're going to be able to create your own riffs. Then I'm going to break down a practice routine. Okay, excellent work everybody. Now moving on to section 2 of this lesson. We're going to learn how to play the natural minor scale up the fretboard on a single string, and then we're going to learn how to turn it into a power chord progression. From there, you'll be able to create your own rock guitar riffs. Okay, so the natural minor scale, key of D, is going to look and sound like this. So that was frets 0, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. Alright, we're going to be putting that scale to work in our practice routine, but we're going to be using it to create power chord progressions. Okay, so to do that, basically all you need to do is just bar with a single finger across 3 strings. The low D string, A string, and the D string. Okay, you can play that entire scale now in power chord form. Alright, so mess around with that, see if you can come up with your own riffs. Notes that are outside that scale. Remember, just because it's not natural minor doesn't mean it's not going to sound good. There's lots of different options here if you mix and match different scales together. Okay, but a surefire way to come up with some cool minor sounding riffs is that D natural minor scale. Okay, now moving on to section 3 of this lesson. You know how to get into drop D tuning real quick, and you know how to harmonize the natural minor scale to create power chords and your own rock guitar riffs. Now, let's jump into learning a practice routine that's going to encompass a lot of the techniques that I want to share with you today. How to play single note riffs in drop D tuning, how to utilize the chord shapes or the power chords, how to play major chord shapes, and also how to add a little bit of thickness by adding in the octave of the 5th, which is a really cool sound. Okay, so once again, our practice routine is going to sound like this. Let's break that down. Okay, so that started off with a riff that's also being built from that natural minor scale. Just being played on 2 strings. Once again, it sounds like this. Okay, now that's actually a riff I wrote when I was maybe 13, 14 years old, and I still like playing it every now and then just for a little fun. Okay, so it starts off with the low E string open, which again is tuned to D, but for ease of learning, let's just call it the low E string. we're going to play O, O. Then a pull off, 3 down to 0. O again. Then the 5th fret. So far you have O, O, 3, O, O, 5. Next, the low E string open. And then we're going to play. That was the A string, 3 to 0 with the pull off. And then 5 on the low E. 3 with a slight bend. Tension gets you back to the open low E string and the next measure of music. So far you have O, O, 3, O, O, 5, O, 3, O, 5, 3. All right, next measure we're gonna play O, O, 3, O, O, O. All right, you put those two halves together and we have O, O, 3, O, O, 5, O, 3, O, 5, 3, O, O, 3, O, O, O. Okay, next, we're gonna do something that's very Soundgarden inspired. And also kind of Black Sabbath, right? Real slow. Okay, so I'm starting off hitting the open strings, low E, A, and D. Then a hammer, 10 up to 12, barring across those strings, making those power chords. All right, next, harmonics. Over the 12th fret, just hovering the finger, we're gonna play down, down. Okay, so not pushing. I'm just using harmonics, hovering over the fret. Okay, so far you have. All right, next we're gonna do another hammer on, 10 to 12. All right, you put that together and we have. Adding that in with the first part of the riff. To go on to line 2 of this practice routine. It's going to sound like this. So coming out of line 1. And then a nice little slide away. Sounds cool. All right, so I went down to 10, 10, and 10. That's going to be a C power chord. Let it ring for a measure in 2/4 times, so just 2 beats. 1, 2, and. Now, the thing that I want to show you is how to play a major chord using drop D tuning. To do it, we basically are going to take a bar chord shape, but remember, the low E string is tuned down a full step, so we got to bring it back up 2 frets. The way we do that is we're going to hold 7th fret low E, 7th fret of the A, 7th fret of the D string with your fingers stacked, and then the 6th fret of the G string. That's going to be an A major chord. Okay, so we have the 10th fret, let it ring, and I'm just arpeggiating that chord, E, A, D, G, then the open E string, and then I'm going to take that shape down a full step, and that's going to give me the chord G major as I get into the next measure. So, 1, 2, and. All right, now we're gonna finish up our routine with this really cool technique. Grabbing the power chord, but then finding the octave of the 5th interval. And then playing an ascending pentatonic scale, minor pentatonic scale. Okay, in the key of D minor. All right, so I've got that power chord. It's gonna be an F power chord, barring the 3rd fret, but I'm also going to grab the 5th fret of the G string. Now I have the notes. All right, so that's F, C, I've got F again, and then I have another C. All right, I'm gonna take that up a full step, another full step, then to the 10th fret position, and then up to a D power chord on that 12th fret position. Okay, if you start from D, D minor pentatonic scale in that power chord form. Okay, so all of line 2 should sound like this. We have 1, 2, and power chords. And the entire routine at a very slow tempo should sound like this. See if you can play along. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chords. Alright, now let's try it at full speed. Alright friends, thanks so much for checking out this rock guitar tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and that you're going to have some fun writing some original riffs in drop D tuning. I want to thank my patrons for making all these lessons possible. I hope you're enjoying those extra resources, and thanks to you guys, I got many more lessons coming up, so keep checking in, please subscribe, please share. This is Rob at Swift Guitar Lessons in Philadelphia, saying happy picking.